you've had a really impressive career in public policy and working at Sunnova for almost 10 years, about 9.5 years. I have really enjoyed learning about your story and how you got to your executive leadership position that you're in now. And, I'd like for you to share it, but you've taken on a lot of roles that maybe you didn't feel prepared for. So I'd love for you to share just a little bit about your story and how you got into your EVP position now.
Yeah, sure. I started off my career working at Solar City. I started with them in 2009. There were about 120 employees. And I was like, has anyone heard of solar? Is this going to be a thing? We were coming out of a recession, or maybe we're still in one, back in 2009. So I was with them for about 5 years, and then switched over to Sunnova. And then I've since been with them for about a decade. When I started with Sunnova, they were about at 120 employees. So definitely in startup mode. And I think that's such an exciting time in a company's, iteration. And you step into whatever your role is, that's not the boundaries of what you end up doing. You just have to take on whatever needs to be done. And so I found myself doing that at Sunnova. I ended up taking over the comms department and doing communications work when we lost our comms person. And so got to have that challenge and get to manage, the company's work on that front and on the government affairs front. Over time, got to know the CEO really well, and ultimately ended up starting reporting to him maybe in 2017 is when that started. I have a ton of respect for him. I've learned a lot from him, and I think he's an incredible leader of the company. And so eventually was promoted to, I started out as a vice president when I started at the company. I mean, there was no competition, like no one else did government affairs.
Sure. Yeah.
So I've talked with my husband about this. He's in an industry where there's so many people kind of that does, not so many people that does exactly what he does, but that do exactly what he does. But you need a lot of people to build substations or utility scale projects. But in government affairs, a lot of companies only have like a couple of people that do that. So coming in, I was the only one who did that. So I started off as a vice president, and then ultimately reported to the CEO. And then was just having a great time with it. And was eventually was promoted to an executive vice president, and was part of the executive team, which is the team that reports to the CEO and kind of helps manage and run the company. And throughout that time, the company grew substantially. We went public in 2019. So I think we just hit our 5-year anniversary of going public. That was a lot of fun. I was at Solar City when we went public, and then at Sunnova, I was able to go to the stock exchange and watch while my boss rang the bell.
That's cool. That
was a lot of fun. And so it's been fun I feel like I've had multiple jobs throughout the 10 years at this company, because we're a different company every year, essentially, or every 2 years. The company looks very different than what it used to. And we've expanded our offerings and our footprint and our focus and what we've gotten into grid services and new homes and accessory sales and commercial. And so there's always a new challenge to take on, which makes it really exciting.